In August, I asked you, give me your bold predictions, anything you'd be willing to bet your own money on. Here are 5 predictions that you guys gave me. Take a look at who hit and who missed. First up, this one I had to check for sure, but Chris nailed it. Chris said FSU will win 3 of 4 games between LSU, Miami, Clemson, and Florida. FSU is going to go 3 of 4 at least. This hit, and I'll tell you what had me concerned. They opened against LSU, and if they lost that game, they were going to have to go 3-0 the rest of the way to make Chris's prediction hit. And I don't want you to think about FSU now. I don't want you to think about number 13, bowl winner, 10-win FSU. No, go back to August. Remember in August when this program, the biggest question around them was going to be, are they going to win at least 7 games? You know, are we going to improve? We're going to make a bowl? That was the kind of conversation around FSU in the preseason. And also, Clemson had one of the 3 or 4 best odds to win the national title. LSU was a favorite against FSU. Miami was a favorite to win their division in the ACC. So those games didn't look winnable at all. Well, all of a sudden, they became a lot more winnable. They won the first one against LSU. They played a close game against Clemson, but then they took it to Miami, and they beat Florida the night after Thanksgiving. They go 3 of 4. Good call, Chris. Very good call. He hits. I called that an 8. I thought it was pretty bold, but it hit. Next up, I called this one an 8 as well. College football playoff conversation here from Dylan. He said this year's college football playoff will be 100% Big Ten and SEC. He came close. He came very close. In fact, here's how close he came. Here is the top 6 going into the playoff. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Ohio State, Bama, Tennessee. 5 of the top 6 were SEC and Big Ten. There was that one little fly in the ointment, as our buddy Tim Brando would say, and that is TCU there at number 3. How many parties can you crash in one calendar year, Sonny Dykes? And so we had a couple of Big Ten teams. We had one SEC team, but we did get a third conference in there. I called this an 8, and the reason I had a problem with it was the 4 candidates there. If we're going to have 2 Big Ten and 2 SEC, you're thinking to yourself, Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, Georgia, that's the 4, right? Well, the problem was Ohio State and Michigan play each other really late in the year. It turns out that happened, and both of them still made it. But then also, if Bama, Georgia play, it's going to be in the SEC title game. So you've got like 2 situations there where someone's got to take a loss at the very end of the year in 2 cases and still make it in. Things were just going to have to fall too perfectly. Still almost happened, but not quite. Next up, we got a Clemson prediction here from Katie. She said Cade Klubnik will start over DJ Uiagalelei at least once this year. She's called Katie Stats on the streets, I believe. So this didn't happen. Should it have happened? I guess is another game that we could play. Now, Cade Klubnik got in plenty of games, but he never started one. At least we don't think he did. I don't think he did. He did not start one. And the caveat here was it has to be for playing reasons. It cannot be for health-related reasons. He did come in several times, did not start one. I guess the follow-up question, and I think I know pretty much everyone's answer, should he have started a game, minimum 1 game? My answer is yes. I rarely question decisions like that, but my answer is yes, he should have. He will be the starter this coming year, and so will DJ probably. It'll just be in Corvallis, Oregon. Next up, we got a TCU prediction. Record amount of TCU content in the show tonight. I called this one a 7, and the prediction was TCU plays in the Big 12 championship game. Jesse, out of curiosity, do we have the preseason Big 12 odds by chance? We do not have them. Okay. I know TCU is not in the top 2. I do know that. This hit, though. And the thing about it is, it didn't sneak up on you. It didn't come out of nowhere. They clinched a spot, as a matter of fact, in Week 10. They played Texas, or it was like November. It wasn't even Week 10, was it? Yeah, around Week 10. They clinched with 3 games to go. They clinched a spot in the Big 12 championship game after the win against Texas. So not only did this hit, it hit as comfortably as it could possibly hit. And again, TCU was not one of the top 2 favorites in the Big 12 coming into the year. That's pretty much the way the Big 12 has played out the last several years. And lastly, this one you got really creative on, and yet it easily hit. How about Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M? Dean predicted Longhorns, Sooners, Aggies, they will all fail to reach 10 wins. And it hit easily. Obviously, the closest out of those three that we got was Texas. Texas went 8-4. Oklahoma went 6-6. A&M went 5-7. I had what I called the Red River Conundrum, which they'll probably end up trying to name that rivalry down the road once someone else becomes offended by something. So the Red River Conundrum to me was simply, if we're saying none of these teams is going to win 10 games, I know OU and Texas play. One of them's got to win. And preseason, they were the 1 and 2, I think, in the Big 12 in terms of odds. So I thought the winner of that game got one of their toughest games out of the way, and they will have an otherwise manageable schedule. I just thought someone was going to win 10 games. So, and not even A&M got halfway there. Appreciate it, guys. Oklahoma just a little bit more than halfway there. And Texas, try as they might, they couldn't even get there. And they beat OU 49-0 and still couldn't get there. So we had a mixed bag in the prediction category, but I appreciate the exercise nonetheless.
Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure to leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.